this is good morning everyone. It is okay, so it's Wednesday the 29th of October, hump day today, middle of the week. I've not got too busy of a day on today. We've just got 5 appointments on, 5 quotations to do today, 3 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. But we are going to head to the office today and help out my sister with the stock. Got to find a tube for a pelmet that needs to go back to a supplier, so we're going to see if I can find one of them. We're also going to do a bit of work on getting the boxes ready for the lads. So I'm making up these organisers that's going to have all the little brackets and all the little extras that might be missing from the supplier stuff. So the last thing we want is to turn up to a job and the supplier's left out 2 brackets and like anthracite brackets for a certain blind, and we need spares of everything basically. I'm about halfway through it. I got one of the big organisers each for them, and then soon realised that I needed more space, so I bought a second lot for them. So today I'll be filling up that second lot, I think. Hopefully dishing them out tomorrow. We've got a quick fitters meeting tomorrow morning. It's something that I'm doing every 2 weeks with them, so just a quick catch up with them, see how things are going, make sure they've got what they need, just to touch base with them really. So just heading over to the first appointment now, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. So this is our main unit, Just Blinds, and as you can see, boxes everywhere because it's the busy time of year. But this is the industrial estate we're on, and this is number 16 that we're hopefully gonna get very soon. We're just waiting for access to it, but we're going to give it a bit of a tidy up to get everything looking a little bit more uniform, put away the stock that's coming now, and yeah, just general tidying up a little bit. I think just needs a quick do. With us being all so busy and all having each role, it can become difficult to find the time to do these like extra little bits like this. So yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so this is the Wigan quadrant of our storage area. As you can see, really busy at the moment. We've got a lot of stock that's ready to go out and be fitted. So we used to actually have a lot more space downstairs, and we didn't have the upstairs when we moved into it. My mum and sister were working from home at that time, but we felt that it's a lot easier if my mum and sister were here when the stock was being delivered. Plus Bill shut down his unit when he was manufacturing. And I think it's really important to have that showroom presence as well, especially as a hyper-local company. It was important to have somewhere where people could visit us. A little kitchenette and a toilet are there as well. And then upstairs we have an office to the right, which is the other branches. And then to the left you'll see the door that heads into our office. So the reason why we didn't go for a high street shop was because it was post-COVID and there was a lot of uncertainty. We felt a dual purpose unit was a lot safer. Yeah, we didn't really plan on having that upstairs, but it was just the best fit. We sort of did the mezzanine floor above, and had a bit of spare space to the side, so I thought let's have a little showroom. This is our little office with Jade working at the back and my sister working on the Wigan stuff. Here I am filling up the boxes for the fitters. They're going to get 2 boxes each full of different brackets, handles, child safety clips, basically anything that could possibly be missing from the suppliers, where the last thing we want is them to be stuck on the job with no spares. I reckon this has cost me around about £400 or £500 for all of the boxes and supplies, and the time involved getting them from the different suppliers. This is one of those expenses where if it will save you enough time and effort, it's 100% worth it. I'll give you an example of what possibly could happen if we didn't have these boxes. So imagine we go to an install of a roll blind job all in black pelmets. So black pelmets require black brackets at the top. Otherwise, if you get white ones, they'll look stupid. There's only a little ridge that you see, but it's enough that if you could talk in an all black blind, it will look silly. So the supplier accidentally sends white brackets rather than black. It can happen, especially around busier times. There's no one really to blame, it's just one of them things. But for us, we really should have spares around for instances like this. So it gets around to the day of installation, the fitter turns up to the job, and only then notice the brackets are wrong. Now, we are introducing more quality assurance things that we're checking that we've got the right colour brackets, things like that. But when we're so busy, and all of us already have our own little jobs, it's hard to find the time to do that sort of stuff. So you just sort of bank on the supplier being right, which 99.9% of the time they pretty much are. Gets around to the day of installation, the fitter turns up to the job and only then notices that the brackets are wrong. If we don't have those in stock at the unit, which sometimes we do carry extra stock of brackets, you're either going to have to fit the blinds with the wrong brackets and then replace them on another day, or come back on a different day altogether. So at bare minimum, you're doubling the diary slots taken up. You probably have an unhappy customer. You're going to have to try and squeeze in this job in the diary at ASAP when you're probably already booked up in the next few days, as well as chase down them new brackets from the supplier as well. So it's pretty much affecting every single person and every part of the job. It's affecting the customer, so it's affecting the fitter, and it's affecting the admin staff as well, because they'll all have to do something extra. Little changes and improvements like this will only further our customer journey and ensure that we've got the best experience for both our customer and our team, to be honest. So it's little things like this where I need the time in the office and I can get these things done. So I mentioned before that this year has been a lot different than the previous years that I've run the business, and one of the reasons was losing a member of staff early in the year. Happened at that sort of end of January, start of February time. So all of the sort of quotations and sales fell onto me. So that made me focus a little bit. But I'd say the main thing that sort of made my shift, and definitely me focusing a lot more than I was doing, was joining Entrepreneurs Circle. And I was getting, I think it was Facebook ads and TikTok ads from Entrepreneur Circle for a couple of weeks, and they kept popping up, and they're really good ads, to be fair. They sort of clawed you in, really good marketing ads. And basically, Entrepreneur Circle is a business that helps you develop your businesses. So they work with small businesses. They teach you all aspects of running a business, basically. So from your marketing to dealing with staff, to dealing with sales, to dealing with your numbers, every little part of it, basically, that they can help you with. So they do a 3 months trial. And I thought, right, I'll just do the 3 months trial, I'll see what stuff's on it, and then I'll cancel it after the free trial, because it's money I didn't really want to spend on something, especially if it was just a gimmick or whether it was just a farce or whatever it is. I think you tend to become skeptical of these sort of things, because I'm sure there's quite a few out there that are just money making schemes. But I joined an Entrepreneur Circle, and the wealth of information and knowledge that I got from it, just in that month, I was listening to the videos of stuff that they had on there. I was listening to pretty much everything I could on there, because it was just gold, and it really did open my eyes to what I possibly could do and what I should be doing. And I think one of the first things that it sort of taught me was your business is run by your numbers. Your business is a numbers game run by a team. That's one of the things they say. So I come to the conclusion that I didn't really know my numbers as well as I should do. And when I say numbers, I'm talking gross profit, net profit, break-even points. I roughly knew what my break-even was. I'd done like simple calculations to work it out, but I'd never really put everything into it and really worked out the actual figure.
So I watched a few videos, especially ones that would relate to my business. So there's one called All About Your Numbers, there's one called The Local Business Guide, so that was really good. I got some really good marketing bits from that as well. And I started going down to a couple of the events as well, which are great, down in Birmingham. So I've been down to Birmingham a few times to do like a few sessions where you can learn about different aspects of a business. And I'd say it really has changed the way I deal with things in business and how I spend my money. I think going back to that point of how much I spent on the wrapping, I probably wouldn't have had that same sort of inspiration to get the van done like that without EC. I probably wouldn't have spent that money the same. I probably would have been looking for the sort of cheapest thing possible, which isn't always the best thing. Just because it's the cheapest option doesn't mean it's the best option, and I think that's probably what we fall into the trap of quite a lot of the time. We don't take into account why the other two prices or why the other price is more expensive. We just take prices at face value quite a lot of the time, and maybe that's whoever's delivering the prices isn't telling you the value of them. So for example, there might be a customer that will get 3 prices for shutters. If you just took that at face value and they all look the same, so yeah, shutters, yeah, same design, same colour, 3 different blinds and shutter companies in Wigan. So the first quote will be cheap and cheerful. They might use MDF, which is like a cheaper product. That might come in at £1,000 for the shutters. Second quote might come in at 1,200. Third quote might come in at 1,500. If you don't explain that the difference is why you would pay 1,500. Say for example we came in at 1,500 and the other companies were £1,000 and 1,200. You would just go for the £1,000, no problem. Like if you're just taking that at face value, you're just going off price, you would go for the £1,000 every time. If, for example, that £1,000 is a 16 to 20 week lead time because they get them from wherever. Okay, so maybe you don't want to wait that long. So you look at the £1,200 ones. What's the lead time on them? So this lead time is sort of 8 to 12 weeks, which isn't too bad. But you look at his reviews online, and his reviews are mixed. You might have some good ones, might have some bad ones. But mostly, the people saying he let me down, he didn't come when he wanted to. Different things like that. Then we come to the £1,500 price, and maybe I've overestimated that a little bit because they're not usually that far apart. Especially we're not usually the most expensive, but still, I think in terms of the most expensive price, you need to ask what are you getting for that value? What are you getting for that price? Like, why is someone charging more than the other person? And it might be that someone gets a better discount and some people work on different margins, and that's fine. That's sometimes might be the case. But if someone is working on a different margin or someone has more expenses to cover, they might have things in place to make the whole experience a lot smoother. So for us, we do a few different things. We do temporary blinds while someone's waiting, so it's especially good if you're in a new property. If you're on a new build and you've got no blinds up at the moment, we can provide temporary blinds which we'll put up for you.
So I'm just editing this video right now, and I thought I'd jump in and quickly discuss the image that I've got on screen right now of the 3 different suppliers. So as I've talked about already, if you just rang 3 different suppliers and just got a price over the phone for the shutters, £1,000, £1,200 and £1,500, without getting any more information, you're going to go for the £1,000 one, aren't you? Because, well, if there's no differentiation between the 3, then the cheapest one is going to be the best. But as I alluded to before, cheapest is not always best. So I think this image is more an illustration to you guys watching
if you are buying something, it doesn't have to be shutters, it can be anything really. Make sure you do get a couple of different prices. I think it would be normal if you're spending a decent amount of money to get a few different prices, but also ask the questions of why something might cost more from a different company. What's the value they're bringing to the table? Because it's not always necessarily the highest price that's the best option. It's not always the lowest price that's the best option. Sometimes it's in the middle where you can sort of find the best value, and it depends what's important to you. I mean, if we look at the shutters, we've got obviously the price at the top, we've got the lead times second, which is probably the second biggest question we get asked when we go out to quote for shutters. What's the lead time? So for us it can be like 12 weeks usually. 10 to 12 weeks is the usual sort of turnaround, and then when you get close to Christmas you sort of into like 12 to 14 weeks when you're getting to the cut-off time. But we do also have a range, our PVC range that you can, which is also UK made as well, which you can get in 2 to 4 weeks. I've known it to come in like a week, to be honest with you, in the non-busy periods. So if the turnaround and getting the shutters in is quick, is the most important bit to you, then the price is irrelevant really. If you want them shutters in the next 4 weeks rather than 12 weeks, 16 weeks, then you probably would be willing to pay that extra for it, and it wouldn't be £500 extra. This is just an illustration just to show you the differences. But the second biggest thing I'd say is material. So for shutters, we do come across companies using MDF, which I personally think is a lesser material to your sort of hardwood, Polonia wood, your basswood, and your PVC range, your HS PVC range as well. So we tend to stay away from using MDF. It is a toxic resin that sort of glues that together, and it's not the most reliable product. You can easily distinguish a good product between a bad product with its guarantee. So hardwood you can get 5, even sometimes some you can get 10 years 10 years guarantee on them, but MDF is usually 2 to 3 year guarantee. It's just not going to last you that long, unfortunately. So even though you might save a little bit of money, in the long run it's not going to last you. So I have 2 different sort of suppliers who will sell me MDF, and I always say no to it. I just don't think it's any good. So yeah, guarantee is a big thing. PVC you can get 10-15 years guarantee on it, so you're in for a long time, and they do last a lot longer than them guarantees as well. So, and then you've got your other little bits on top of that as well. So I mentioned about temporary blinds that we offer for ours. I think communication between you placing the order and the shutters being installed is a massive thing. We try to communicate to the customer as much as we can, updates and where the shutters are up to, and when it's getting close to the time of the shutters arriving, we can start booking them in for installations as well, which is great. I think turning up on time, turning up when you say you'll turn up, giving your quote when you say you're going to give your quote, and the service and the aftercare sort of tie into one really, and ultimately give you that reputation, and then give you the reviews online as well, and the workmanship as well. So if someone, I literally went to a quote today, and the guy said, another competitor said that shutters weren't possible on these windows, and the floor length windows on this estate, and the guy isn't saying no, shutters aren't possible, because they have a little bit of a skirting board at the bottom where the window is. So it's obviously just a lack of knowledge there, isn't it, of knowing that you can fit either fit between the skirting board and trim and cork it, or you can cut between the skirting boards, fit the shutter into it, and then make sure you've corked it all nicely around the skirting boards. So there is ways about it. So, but if people don't know how to do that, or know that you can do that, then you're probably not going to get you're not going to get as good a product as what you would do if you went for like supplier 2 or supplier 3. So I've just give that example that supplier 1 would possibly not give a decent amount of workmanship. You wouldn't know about trimming, corking, there'd be no aftercare, so if you rung up with any issues, quite a few companies that will literally change names every few years just to keep the cycle running, which is crazy. But if you're having to ring a different company every time you want something sorting, it's no good. You want someone who's going to be there in 10 years time.
If you've made it this far in the video, you're already a legend. But because it doesn't cost you anything, can you like the video and click the subscribe button, please? It does take me a long time to make these videos, so every comment, like and sub does motivate me to keep doing them. It's 2026 now, so I hope everyone has the best year and look out for plenty more videos coming soon.